Hello, computer scientists. I've had a few people ask about 7.3.5, the FRQ about word pairs. And so I'm just going to go through this whole section here. They give you a class called word pair, and you can see it has word 1 and word 2. The constructor takes two strings, which then get set to word 1 and word 2. It has a getter called getFirst that returns the first word, and getSecond gets the second. And then there's a toString method, so when we can print them out, it prints out parentheses plus the word 1, comma, word 2, and a closing paren. So it says, first, see if you can create an array list of word pair objects. So how are we going to do that? So we need to have an array list. We know they're going to be word pair objects, and we're going to call it pairs. And since it's an array list instead of just a regular array, we don't actually need to know how long it is when we create it, right? We can just keep adding things to it as we need to. So we can just say new array list of word pairs, and don't forget the parens because it's a constructor method. And that should create a new array list of word pairs, and then it will just add it down here. It will add hi there and hi bye, and then it will print out hopefully hi there and hi bye. So let's try it. There we go. All right, so in this FRQ, you are given an array of words, and you will create pairs of them by taking the first word and pairing it with all the other words, then taking the second word and pairing it with all but the first one, and so on. Okay, so we need to, oh, I see on the left here, hi there, Tyler, Sam. So we'll have hi there, hi Tyler, hi Sam, there Tyler, there Sam, and Tyler, Sam. So it's going to create a whole bunch of words, word pairs from the list of words. So basically we're going to have two for loops, it sounds like. You're going to have one that goes through each item in the list, and then for each of those items you're going to have another one that goes through the rest of the items, and we're going to match those up. So in the word pairs list below, you will write the constructor, which takes the array of words and pairs them up as shown in the figure. We need nested loops, and here's the to initialize the all pairs list to an empty array list of word pair object. Well, we already did that. So let's just go ahead and do that right away. It's going to be array list of word pair, and we need to call it all pairs equals new array list word pair. Okay. So it's an empty array list, and then we need to go through words and add the first and second, first and third, first and fourth, first and fifth, second and third, second and fourth, second and fifth, third and fourth, third and fifth, fourth and fifth, and so on and so on. So we know we're going to have an outer loop, 0 I is less than words.length. So words is this array, not an array list, an array of strings. So it has a property called length, and we will need to go through each of those. And for each of those items, we have to match the following item and all of the rest. So in fact, we don't want to go all the way to the end of the array, because if we do, there won't be any anything to match with. For the first word, there will not be a second word. So we actually only want to go to length -1 for I, and we want to start J at 1 after I. Right? Because we're going through a list, we're starting with the first is I, the second is J, so J has to start at I plus 1. J will go all the way to words.length because it needs to go to the end every time, and it will add 1 every time through it. All right, so now we just need to make the word pair and add it to all pairs. So I am going to look at word pair here. And the constructor is word pair, just string 1, string 2. Okay, so that's easy enough. So I just say word pair WP equals new word pair. And I'm going to pass in words at position I and words at position J. So that'll create a new word pair from the first and the second, then a new word pair from the first and the third, and so on and so on and so on. And then to add it to all pairs, right? If I look back up here, right? Pairs.add and my word pair. So that seems pretty straightforward. I can just say all pairs.add WP. If I want it to be fancy, I could even just put this whole thing in here. Get rid of that entirely. But either way would work. So that is how it's going to add them all to the word pair, all pairs list. So let's see if that works. Well, I'm going to pretend that that works and move on. In the next part of the FRQ, you'll ask to write a method called numMatches that counts and returns the number of pairs. We need a loop that goes through the array list of all pairs, and for each word pair, checks to see if the first word equals the second word. If there's a match, it increments a counter, which it returns at the end of the method. To test this method, add another there and uncomment the call to numMatches. Okay, so we're going to need a counter. So int match counter, I know how to spell, 0. And then I'm going to use an enhanced for loop here because I need to go through all of the items one by one, and I don't really need to keep a counter of anything. I'm not going to be moving anything around, so I just want to look at the actual word pairs. So I could say for word pair WP in all pairs, if WP.get first equals WP.get second. So if the first word is equal to the second word, and that's the right number of parentheses, then I just say match counter plus plus, and I return match counter. I think that's it. So add another there into the words array and uncomment the call to numMatches. Okay. So there we go. Let's put it over here. There. And uncomment the call to numMatches. All right. So let's see if this works.